Can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Mister, will you please wake up?
Holy on slow!
And now, ladies and gentlemen,
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Oh, yeah.
Third down on the 8. In trouble. Got a block behind him. Gonna run.
and now, ladies and gentlemen,
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Welcome back to Snowman in the Morning.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
If you didn't like football, then you didn't like this weekend. Because I can't even find a word for what the hell happened this weekend. Cole Johnson back with me as we continue on our program today. And can you explain what happened? Can you at least try
I don't
explain what happened?
I don't think I'll do a great job, but I'll give it an attempt. So the NFL divisional weekend is my favorite weekend in football, college or pro, because normally when I get to this time of year, I normally expect two games to be like how the four that we saw normally end up, because normally I think, okay, you got probably one epic game, one good close game, like the wild card round, the game between the Bengals and the Raiders, that type of game.
Oh my Lord.
So you get one good game, one epic game, and then maybe like one game where half is good and another game was a blowout. That's what I normally expect in the division round weekend, right? This weekend, you had 4 games where there were evenly matched teams, all 4 games, and oh man, this was proof to me that we can talk about quarterbacks, we could talk about an offense, we could talk about a defense, we could talk about special teams, and yes, in all 4 games, each of them had a role in all four of the outcomes. However, most importantly to me, on display were the head coaches, the offensive coordinators, and the defense coordinators, because those 3 entities on each side won or lost their games for their respective clubs.
Yep. And that Kansas City Buffalo game, what would we say? It would be a pinball machine.
But it was, we said it would be a pinball machine. We didn't think it was going to be a pinball machine within a vacuum.
Let's start with that one. I got Cool McCain coming on next segment, and we're going to review all 4 games. But, folks, we're going to be jumping all over the place today. This is one of the few times I did not send my partner a slate or tell him what would be in order. I didn't even tell him the guests that I had because I confirmed them this morning. And one of them is the man in charge of Real Wise Radio, Will Otero. He'll join me during the second hour. But, man, that Kansas City Buffalo game was the game of the weekend. I didn't expect for them to prove it in the final 120 seconds of regulation.
And neither did
What
anybody. The ones
the hell? I looked at Jody, my wife, and she looked at me. We were screaming at the television when something happened during the fourth quarter. And we turned the TV off, looked at each other, and went in an excited voice, "What was that?"
Oh my gosh,
that was the craziest 2 minutes I ever saw in my life. And you and I both have 4 decades of football watching, studying, analyzing, and journalizing about.
Yeah. Never have I seen it. Never.
I've never seen that. Ever.
I mean, I think people have to understand this. You had... I'll give Patrick Holmes his roses now. So
yeah, both of us.
So, of course, he inherits a 3-point deficit with under 2 minutes to go. He engineers a touchdown drive, and then with 13 seconds to go, his team down by a field goal.
In 3 plays.
Gives you 3 plays in 10 seconds to get a 3 plays in 10 seconds.
Yes.
To get a field goal attempt. 3 plays in 10 seconds. I don't think people understand that.
I mean, zip to Kelsey, zip to Pringle, zip to Kelsey again, and then Butker kicks the field goal. I'm looking at my wife, she's looking at me, and we're going, figures. After this week, figures.
Yeah. But I think, I want people to not sleep on this. Josh Allen, in one of the toughest places to play.
Oh, my gosh.
Engineered a 4-minute drive, basically.
Yep.
Capped off by a beautiful zip pass to.
Threw
oh gosh,
a rocket.
Oh god, let's give it up to Gabriel Davis too.
What a game!
People barely knew who he was. I understood he was the number 2 receiver for the Bills.
Yep.
But this guy, oh man. I mean, he was Mr. Everything for Josh Allen that game.
Yeah, he was.
Caught that zip pass with 2 minutes to go in the game to put them up 29-26. They end up getting a 2-point conversion. And then he's there again running a beautiful route to the post. Beautiful route to the post.
Yeah.
And Allen led him beautifully to the spot. And he catches a ball with 13 seconds to go. And 99.99999999% of the time.
That's game, set, match.
It is game, set, match, and it is the play that people would talk about all week long. Did you see that drive?
What we see?
Did you see that catch?
What we see? Jim Kelly versus Len Dawson?
It almost seemed that way.
And then we're reviewing the Chiefs and the Bills, and we're really gonna dive into all 4 of these games, as I said. But how this is one of the few times I'm simply out of words, because that game, I can't even use the word terrific, because it would be
it would be an understatement. It still wouldn't be good enough.
It wouldn't. It would not be good enough.
I am still blown away by the fact that Josh Allen threw 2 rockets for touchdowns within 2 minutes of regulation in a playoff game on the road.
On the road. That you can't pick out one thing that was most impressive about that game, because from top to bottom, from start to finish, look. I put in the book that Kansas City would have the lead at halftime, and then Butker pushed the field goal to the right, and I saw it when it came off his foot. I said he pushed it. And Jody looks at me and goes, figures. Even at 14 at the half, figures. And this is a woman that loves watching great games with me, okay? She loves watching football with me. You and I both are baseball rats, so I'm going to invoke a baseball reference here. You knew Josh Allen put a lot on it when
oh my gosh,
when he stepped into the throw and his right foot came off the ground.
Yeah.
On both of those touchdown throws to Davis in the 4th quarter.
Yeah. It was basically, it basically was like a heater. He basically was on the mound.
It was a 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
And it was basically either you catch this or nobody is.
Yep. Because it'll burn a hole in his chest if he didn't catch it. It'll burn a hole in his chest. And that was on 4th. The first one was on 4th and 13.
4th and 13.
4th and 13.
Stones. Both quarterback stones, but I have to give it to Josh Allen because the degree of difficulty was much higher for him, and he rose to the challenge.
In Kansas City.
He rose to the challenge. And
He
the
did.
only way he was going to be denied would be if that game went to overtime and the Chiefs got the ball first and scored a touchdown.
And that's
the only way he was going to be denied.
And that's what happened. And
that's the only way he was going to be denied. But if he had the ball, the Chiefs defense had no answer for it.
Both defenses were out of gas.
Yeah, they were
both defenses were out of gas. This is where I make a plea to the NFL to change the overtime rules. You shouldn't both teams should be allowed to possess the ball, touchdown or not. Do it the way the colleges do it. Okay, you take the clock out of the equation. You keep the play clock in play, and each team is allowed a possession. All right, if they get 7, then you have to match them with 7. And in overtime rules like that, I would always love to be on defense first.
Oh yeah, because
you'll know whether you have to match them or you can beat them.
Now,
I saw a graphic in one of the groups I'm in where it said Buffalo 135, Kansas City 142, final 19 overtimes. I wouldn't be surprised. Part 1 and part 2, excuse me, that would break every record in the book.
Yeah,
but by that time, both teams would not have any legs.
Mm-hmm. See, and ultimately that is why we wouldn't see that type of overtime.
Yeah, setting. I know.
But
I would love to see that.
Yeah, but for a modification of what you're saying, for the playoffs only, regular season, 10 minutes for that overtime period, first team to 6 wins. I like that. I think keep it that way.
Keep that.
In the playoffs. I wouldn't say sudden death, but in playoffs, each team gets a possession. If the first team scores a touchdown, you have to give the opposite team the chance to respond the next possession. If on the next possession they don't, game's over.
Game over.
If they do, we keep going. And the NFL could say, okay, fine, we'll do it to first team to 12. Or first team to 13. We'll do it that way. First team that scores 13 points.
First team score 13 in overtime wins.
Well, if they win, and then you advance. And keep the overtime 15 minutes of overtime.
Keep it 15.
I like how that is.
I like that.
I like that too.
I like that. I like that. I like that. But man, that game in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Unreal.
It will go down as one of the best playoff games in the history of the.
Yep.
I mean, they had a Christmas Day game, but way back before we were both born.
1971. Chiefs and Dolphins.
That's the longest game ever played in NFL history. So that was a classic. Of course, it didn't go in their favor, went to the Dolphins' favor. But this, to me, almost goes down in the similar vein as that one, because this was something that you just did not expect.
No, you didn't.
Oh my gosh,
you didn't expect that at all.
And what's so messed up is this should tell you something. When most of the NFL fan base, you and me included, are actually saying that game was so good, it did not need to end with a sudden death.
Exactly. You figured it would go overtime, but no, sudden death, no. It shouldn't have ended with sudden death. It should have ended with both teams possessing the ball. And if Buffalo fails to match Kansas City's touchdown, then game, set, match.
Yeah, game, set, match, so be it. Yeah.
But I have the feeling Josh Allen would have met that.
I
have a feeling Josh Allen would have tied the game again. I mean, wow. And before we go to break, 25 points in 2 minutes, in a minute 54 seconds. 25 points in a minute 54.
Never seen that before.
Never. Never. I thought 26-21 would wind up being the final score.
I thought the same.
I thought 26-21 will wind up being the final score, but Josh Allen said, I'm not done yet.
What? Nuh-uh.
He said, I'm not done yet. Yeah, that's exactly what he said. Watch this. And he picked up 3 fourth down conversions on that drive. 3.
On that drive, picked up 3. Yep.
3 fourth down conversions, all with his legs. All with his legs.
Now that is the time when I will approve of a quarterback running because it was not arbitrary. It was planned and it wasn't gratuitous.
Right. And Allen saw that pressure and said, "I got to get out of here."
Yeah.
In that case, I would approve a quarterback running. Not what they do in Arizona, for the most part in Buffalo with Josh Allen. But see, with this one, they got it right.
Yeah, that's how I would like quarterbacks to run, like that.
Mm-hmm.
And on the side, Mahomes, too, because that's exactly how he did it. In fact, the longest game they had on the ground was Mahomes scrambling for, I think 30 yards.
35 yards. And the middle of the field was wide open.
Middle of the field was wide open. So that makes sense. Yeah.
That does make sense. We're going to pause for a break, and when y'all get back, either Cool McCain will join me, or we're going to review a certain game in the state of Wisconsin. And I get to stick my tongue out at everybody.
Oh, Lord. You better watch out, Packers fan.
Yeah, Packers fan ain't going to like me for the next 2 segments because I have a Snowman's take beyond it. Back in a minute.
Wow.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. As a volunteer, you deliver a hot, nutritious meal and a friendly hello to someone just like your mother, grandfather, or next door neighbor. These seniors are inspiring people with incredible stories to share, and they love to see you. The smiles you get back are priceless. Delivering with Meals on Wheels is easy, and you don't have to drive like me for it to be quick. You can volunteer your lunch break once a week or just once a month. With 1 in 6 seniors facing hunger and many more living in isolation, your lunch break can make a real difference. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having...
And now, ladies and gentlemen...
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Welcome back to Snowman in the Morning.
Oh, yeah.
Cool McCain is with us from Sideline Sports. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
What the hell happened this weekend?
Well, it depends on which specific thing you're referring to, because there's a lot of what the hell's
happening. Perfect. Okay.
Plethora.
What a weekend of football. Both number one seeds went down and on their home turf. Which one, I asked both of you gentlemen, which one was bigger? The Packers going down at Lambeau or the Titans going down at Nissan? Let me start with you first, Mr. McCain.
I'm going to say Packers at Lambeau. And here's the thing. A lot of people on a lot of shows that I see, they want to make an excuse about the weather for the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't the Packers a cold weather team? Aren't the Packers a team who's supposed to be used to playing in the snow?
Yep.
Making sure you have the right equipment to be able to plant and turn on that type of field.
Mm-hmm.
Experience with that on how it changes the way that you throw the ball as well as how you catch the ball. So how is it that they're being treated like, oh, it was a difficult situation, and that's why they lost. That's supposed to be their home field advantage.
Supposed to be.
With a warm weather team. They play on the West Coast in the warm weather.
Mm-hmm.
They came over and beat you because you can't do special teams in the snow, which you should be better than them at by far.
Preach. That's all I got to say.
How in the world
Preach.
can people not say that was the biggest upset? Because when we go into the game, 49ers fans and a few people who understand that running the ball, good defense, and solid special teams when needed wins games and travels, all felt like Green Bay was going to just stomp all over the 49ers.
It seemed that way.
Behold, sir, if you watch the Play Call Sports Talk show on Friday, you know there were two individuals for sure that did not believe that.
Yeah.
That would be me and my co-host.
Yep, and I did watch that show, and I was smiling when y'all made your when y'all made your picks. Check out the Play Caller Sports Talk show. It's a fabulous show. Friday 7 p.m. Now, Mr. McCain, about that game in Kansas City. The sound you just heard was McCain's mouth going through the car.
What I can tell you about that game is every single person in America has run out and said, the rules for overtime need to change. Shut up. You were up. And the other team needed to score a field goal to tie the game with 13 seconds left.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't defend 13 seconds and you play soft, prevent defense on Patrick Mahomes, you deserve to be sitting at home. Enjoy your summer. Enjoy your off time. You don't want to win.
I'll give him that.
That's why you didn't.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the truth. You only had to play defense for 13 seconds, and they didn't.
13 seconds and you played so defense. You had a big hole that I could have made the throws on. I've never been a quarterback in my life.
But of course, it's Patrick Mahomes making those throws, 3 zip throws, and he made it seem so easy. Well, it was because in 10 seconds. And it was easy when Buffalo played the kind of coverage that they played, to Mr. McCain's point. Let's go to Nashville. What happened?
It's very simple to sum up what happened in Nashville. The ghost of Nick Sirianni entered the coaching staff.
Not the ghost of Nick Sirianni. You know what's so funny? Out of 4 games, I would say the question which needed to be answered was the simplest of the 4, which would be, if the Bengals could allow only Ryan Tannehill to beat them, could they? Could he?
Yeah.
And if the answer was yes, the Titans would be in the AFC Championship game. If the answer was no, we got what we got.
Mm-hmm.
And that is including the fact that Titans ended up sacking Joe Burrow 9 times.
9 times.
I'm going to tell you what, man. Joe Burrow does not care about being sacked. That man, you could beat that man iron pots on that field. He will still beat you.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with him, taking. I didn't believe Cincinnati was going to win. I bet against him the last 2 weeks, and I've been wrong both times. Hey.
I'll admit, Yeah, I'll be real too. I voted against him in this one too, because I thought that the Titans would actually be buoyed by the fact that they had Derrick Henry back. Not necessarily Derrick Henry would go for 100 yards, but I figured the energy of it basically be like a Willis Reed-ish type of situation.
Mm-hmm.
That it would help them, give them that extra boost. But the Bengals, the very first play, said, "You're in for a fight, buddy. Here you go. You better buckle chin strap because it's going to be a bumpy ride."
Wow.
I'll tell you what, boy, Cincinnati looking like one of those teams that's going to turn around and give Kansas City some work. I'm not saying that they're going to win the game, but I'm saying that Kansas City better come with their bootstraps tied, their chin straps on hard, and their shoulder pads fresh.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be in for it in this game.
Yeah, it's going to be a fight and a half at Arrowhead Stadium. Cool McCain, one of the men in charge of the Play Caller Sports Talk Show on YouTube and on Sideline Sports, Fridays at 7 p.m. Frequent guests here on Snowman in the Morning, joining us to wrap up what was an insane weekend of football. Glad to have you with me, my man. Thanks for the time. I love you. Can't wait to have you back.
No problem. I just have to say one other thing. Thank you, San Francisco. We don't have to hear about Tom Brady anymore this year. We'll sit on the playoff couch with the rest of us.
Wow. Well. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
No problem.
And I got no qualms with that whatsoever. None.
I don't either. I don't either.
None.
A playoffs without Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers.
And Aaron Rodgers.
No issues at all with it.
Now let's go to Lambeau Field.
Okay.
And wrap up this and dive into this game.
Yeah, let's go to the frozen tundra of
Lambeau Field. Memories of John Facenda. I'm gonna have to get that.
I love John Facenda.
I'm gonna have to get that soundbite and work it in. Mm-hmm. Listen, hardly anybody picked San Francisco to win this game.
I know. I did. You did. And actually for the reason that they wanted. That's the messed up part. For the very exact reason they wanted, that is why you and I chose them. Yeah.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers zipped down the field through the air, and I want to keep that at the forefront of everyone's mind. Through the air. And 7-0 Green Bay. I looked at Jody, and she looked at me, and she goes, uh-oh. I said, I'm not worried.
Before you continue, though.
Yes.
How they finished that drive on the ground, though.
Mm-hmm. A.J. Dillon.
What made me say, I want to see if the Packers are going to be committed to feeding A.J. Brown and Aaron Jones on the ground. If they are, the 49ers are in trouble. If they aren't, then I know the 49ers will counter this.
And the answer to that was a resounding no.
N-O. Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the reasons. That was one of the things you and I talked about on Friday about this game. Green Bay doesn't want to run the ball. They're like Dallas. They want to go around you. 49ers went through you.
And here's what's so funny about it. And we talked. Cool talked about this quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And here's something that people gloss over. Not only is it cold, but Green Bay's the coldest. If I'm not mistaken, the coldest climate of all 32 teams when it comes to January.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, you would think this would be, especially with a team that's out in Northern California. Well, any team that's considered California, and you know this, they're considered reharking to Keenan Turner when they beat down the Bills in 1988 in a championship game.
When they beat the hell out of the Bears, 28-3.
People think that all California teams are finesse to the point where they think those teams will wilt in colder climates. But the 49ers, the way they're constructed, they want to beat you up with the offensive line. They want to get after the quarterback and the defensive line. They are, and they want to be physical every single way, every single which way but loose. That team is. What did I say to you before the playoffs began?
A running game travels.
Mm-hmm.
Physicality and a running game travel.
Yes, sir.
Those are your exact words.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with it all day long.
Yeah, and we saw why. Physicality and a running game travels. Because we saw a team, like you said, that was being finessed the rest of the way after that first drive. And they know better. They play in a cold climate. They know that passing stuff will just simply wilt and wither.
Mm-hmm.
But no, they want to be cute. So what do you do when a team wants to be cute? You will smash them in the freaking mouth. And that's what the 49ers did, although they didn't put points on the board until the second half, they were still punching them. They were punching them and punching them
all night long.
All
night long. The play of the game belongs to Jimmy Ward.
Oh, my gosh.
Because that blocked field goal at the end of the first half kept the 49ers in the ball game. Because think about it. You go down 10-0 instead of 7-0.
7-0. Yeah. That was a huge block.
Special teams of Green Bay accounted for all 13 49er points.
Oh, let me give you a laugh about that real quick.
Take it.
So I was talking to a Packers fan, and
oh God,
and after I said you can lay blame anywhere, and deservedly so with Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur.
Yes,
but the Green Bay Packers special teams lost them that game.
Yes.
Period. End of story. So Packers fans said, no. It was because the offense didn't execute. It was the offense didn't turn the possessions to points. It's because the offensive line. I said, look, I'm not disagreeing with all that, but when I can say
the
Green Bay lined up for a field, when I can say the Packers lined up for a field goal at the end of the half, but it got blocked. When they lined up another 5 minutes ago in the game for a punt and in your own end zone and it got blocked. And the coup de grace, the cherry on top of the sundae.
10 men on the field.
The final play of the game.
10 men on the field.
10 men on the field.
After a timeout.
After timeout. Oh, by the way, let's not forget the Deebo Samuel return from the kick off the midfield to start the second half.
Which led to the field goal.
Which led to a field goal.
Special teams blunder again.
Yeah, and you mean to tell me the special teams didn't screw that game up the Packers? Come on, please.
You know, it's so funny to me that Packer fans wants to make all kind of excuses. Excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse.
No, well this is how I broke down. You had a touchdown lead with under 5 minutes go in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Your defense, which I did not have any faith in the Packers defense, I will cop to this on your network, on your show, on mine, on anybody's.
Yeah.
I did not have faith in the Packers defense. But
Nor
they
did I.
showed out Saturday night.
Yeah, they did.
Oh my God, they showed out.
They did. Yeah, they did.
They
and
showed
I'll cop to it as well. I had no clue they were going to ball out Saturday night.
Oh, my gosh. Now, to me, that unit should be highly disappointed because they played, to me, the best game of the year.
That unit should be highly pissed off. That unit should be highly pissed off because
that unit played the best game
and they kept the Packers in the lead.
Yes.
They kept the Packers in the lead.
Before the block punt.
Mm-hmm.
The 49ers decided to go for a fourth down.
And the Packers stoned them.
Deep within the territory, the Packers said, no, sir.
They stopped Elijah Mitchell. And it was tough to stop Elijah Mitchell, especially on a cold night. But the 49ers, unlike the Packers, and we've said this all year, the 49ers were committed to the run game.
And now this is where I will now direct my attention to that bad liar.
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
You have been in this league, sir, since 2005?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
2005.
2005. You've been a starting quarterback in the NFL since 2009. You mean to tell me that in the now 13 years you have started, you are playing a playoff game where you know you need all of your weapons, and you're playing a really good defense of the 49ers squad.
That makes adjustments on the fly.
That makes adjustments. Forget half to half. They make adjustments drive to drive.
Yep. They make adjustments on the fly.
You mean to tell me you are going to make it easy for D'Amico Ryans, who, my friend, you may need to play taps because you might not see him on the sideline for your defense coordinator next year.
I know this. After that game, I am well aware. Well aware.
You made it easy, and look, I know D'Amico Ryans because I saw him as a player with the Texans. The dude was a computer on the field.
Yeah, he was.
Then.
He was.
So I knew he was going to be coaching material as a player.
Yeah.
Anything is fine for him, but you made it easy because all you did was lock eyes with Davante Adams.
All
what is
night.
wrong with you?
All night.
What is wrong with you? Why would you just simply lock eyes with him and target him mostly all game? Because it's a crime that Lazard got his first target in the fourth quarter.
Tight end dropped the ball over the middle. He didn't target him again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mercedes Lewis coughed it up, and then that was the first quarter. Didn't look at his way ever again. But to me, that is what's frustrating. If this guy is the elite of the elite, he's supposed to take on that challenge and say, whatever you throw at me, I got something for you, and not have the hubris, not have the arrogance, not have the mendacity to think, well, no matter what you throw at me, I'm still going to beat you with my best weapon.
Yep.
Even if you double team him, which the very last play that I believe Aaron Rodgers ever executed as a Packer, that's exactly what happened. A long bomb down the field to Davante Adams. He was blanketed by a man in front of him and blanketed by a man
behind him. And
I'm thinking to myself, dude, that's why y'all lost the game right there. Along with the special teams having all the yips in the world, you should have taken the 49ers and blown them out the ballpark. But no, your arrogance should have. No, your arrogance messed it up. And
Again.
And you let this team hang. And what I love about this is now the team that I know you rooted for your entire life. You have an 0-4 record in the playoffs against them. I love it. And guess what, Mr. Rodgers? You talked about cancel culture. Well, my friend, it looks like the 49ers canceled you.
Again.
How you like it?
And my wonderful co-host gave me two somethings that were utterly fantastic. Now, y'all know I'm a big fan of Wayne Larrivee. This was his call Saturday night to end the game. See if we can get it to work here. Again, I'll set it up. 10-10 tie. Here's Wayne Larrivee's call to end the game. I'll figure it out. But Cole sent me both Wayne Larrivee's call and Greg Papa's call, and I think I finally have it. Oh, well, maybe not. And I just had a problem solved. But thank you for sending me those.
No problem. Forget.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna play the opening that I put together before my computer crashed this morning, and it will house both the calls from Wayne Larrivee of the Packers and Greg Papa of the 49ers. Here they are. No, that's not it either. Doggone. I'm sorry, folks. I keep forgetting to switch buttons on the fly here. This is why doing it live cannot work sometimes.
That's right, Bill O'Reilly. I'm sorry.
All right. Now I have it.
As time expires.
This was
to the uprights.
Man in the morning.
Here we go. First, Wayne Larrabee.
High snap, placement made, kick end over end to the uprights, and it is good. The San Francisco 49ers advance.
This is the end of the game.
With a 13-10 victory over the Green Bay Packers on a 45-yard field goal by Robbie Gould as time expires. A gut-wrenching, heart-breaking defeat.
Here's Greg Papa.
Here's a little high pull down by Wisnowski. Robbie Gould has it away, and it is good! Robbie Gould has kicked the 49ers to victory here in Green Bay.
The golden leg of Robbie Gould going to an NFC championship game.
Okay. With those two calls, and again, I thank you for sending them to me.
No problem.
How did ABC describe it with the wide world of sports? The thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat. And it's literal in this case with the word feet. Thank you, Robbie Gould.
One of the most iconic copies ever written. Oh, my gosh.
I'm sorry, Packers. You played yourselves.
Hard.
Yeah, very.
And this is what I find even funnier about all that. So going into the wild card round, people were at mainstream media was asked the question. Well, obviously the Packers are the best team in NFL. What team? Yeah. And you laughed exactly what I thought you would. And get ready to laugh some more.
I'm ready.
Because they asked the question, so which team is the biggest threat to unseat the Packers? So, of course, you had some say the Rams.
Of course.
You had some trying to think of said another team besides the one I'm going to make you really laugh at when I say it.
I think I know who you're going to say.
Yeah, some said the Rams. I think I heard a couple answers say the Packers. The Cardinals, which that blew my mind. Half of them said
the Dallas Cowboys.
None of them said the 49ers. And I'm saying to myself, are you kidding me? The 49ers are the team best built to beat them. What are you talking about? Who is the biggest threat? I'm like, come on, you can't. No. And then when...
Oh, there's more.
Yeah, there's more. Then when the 49ers beat the Cowboys, and this plays into why I love Stephen A. Smith in certain times, and I look at him and say I can't take him seriously at others. When an analyst actually did jump on board and say, well, you know, the team that actually does not match up well with the Pack. I mean, the team that matches too well with the Packers that basically has their numbers 49ers. The Packers don't really want to see them. Stephen A. Smith said,
"Oh boy."
Quote. Now, the 49ers are formidable. I will give you that. They are a tough team and a tough out. But Aaron Rodgers has an answer for them.
Okay.
Close quote.
Thank you.
I'm still waiting to see the answer.
Okay. Thank you for that.
No problem. I'm still waiting to see the answer. Still. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
So Aaron Rodgers has an answer for the 49ers, huh? Here's my Snowman's take, and I haven't done this in a while, but I'm going to do it today.
Oh, cut loose, homie.
So that bad liar and bad quarterback
oh, no.
has an answer for the 49ers, huh?
Yeah, apparently.
Okay. Where is it?
Where at though?
Aaron, where's your answer? Hey, Stephen A.
Where that door?
Where is Aaron Rodgers' answer to the 49ers? And what makes this even more stupid, none of the mainstream media, when the playoffs began, and I saw it all, I watched it all, none of them believed in the 49ers, which just piled up the house money, which just piled up the anger of the 49ers. It's the same as nobody believing Georgia could beat Alabama in the national championship game in Indianapolis, Indiana. Well, nah, stupid.
Did you just invoke your wife with the whale?
Hell yeah, I did. Hell yeah, I invoked Jody K. Snow into this. And now I'm going to invoke you. Well. I said before we broke for recess for the weekend that San Francisco would find a way to beat the Packers because I don't trust the Packers in the playoffs with Aaron Rodgers leading them.
On the money. On the money.
And though the Packers got out to a 7-0 lead, for the remainder of the game, you know what they did? Nothing. You can talk about the 75-yard pass to Aaron Jones. But Jimmy Ward, who gave up said 75-yard pass, saved the game. He redeemed himself big time and saved the game. Hey, Mason Crosby, how's that block feel? How'd you like being unceremoniously invited to Jimmy Ward's block party? Hey, Packers,
you in your bag this morning.
I'm not even at the tip of the iceberg. Hey, Boriquez, Packers punter. How'd you like the 49ers block party? And what's sad about that, none of the Packers look for the football.
What makes it even sadder? I don't mean to step on your take. What makes it even sadder?
You're fine.
Is the snapper was blown off of the snap to the point
bull rushed.
Yeah, to the point it was bull rushed, and all it had to happen was an outstretched arm to be reached, and that was palm blocked.
Yeah, that was clean. That was clean palm block. That wasn't an arm. It wasn't an elbow. It was a palm block. And, of course, the 49ers took full advantage. Yeah, scoop and score. Tied at 10.
That was the beginning end for them. And that was the beginning of the end for them.
Beginning of the end for the Packers was the blocked field goal to close the first half because, like the Rams, you allow the 49ers to stick around. Like the Cowboys, you allowed the 49ers to be in the game.
Dummies.
3 opponents. The last 3 games. Rams in week 18, Cowboys wild card, Packers divisional. You know how many sacks the 49ers have piled up in those 3 games? I believe the magic number is 15.
That's what I was going to say, probably around 15. Yeah.
They got to Stafford 5 times. They got to Prescott 5 times. God, I was hoping for more. And they got to that bad liar 5 times. If Aaron Rodgers is such a great quarterback, then why didn't he have the stones to look at other receivers to get down the field? Here's a better question. How come Aaron Rodgers, unlike Jimmy Garoppolo, trusts his running game? Matter of fact, I direct that question not only at Aaron Rodgers, I direct that question at Matt LaFleur.
Tommy.
Hey, Matt LaFleur, why didn't you trust your two-headed monster like the 49ers did? Better question for Matt LaFleur. You talked all this cap and I rarely use that word, and forgive me. You talked all this cap about stopping Deebo Samuel, about stopping the 49ers run game. Did you? Did you stop Elijah Mitchell? Did you stop Mr. Deebo Samuel? Did you stop the most dangerous player on the field, which wasn't Rodgers, which wasn't Jones, which wasn't Dillon, and to a point, wasn't Mitchell? It was Deebo Samuel.
Number 19 in the Scarlet.
And the crazy part is, you know who led the 49ers in reception Saturday night? Yeah, the other most dangerous man, George Kittle. Mm-hmm. And y'all didn't stop him. This is why I have this 2-foot smile on my face, even though I'm minus coffee this morning, because as Cole and I correctly predicted, the Packers went down. They fell on the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. They fell right on their ass.
Dummies. Have the biggest home field advantage that any NFL
team
has.
And did not use it.
And squander it.
The snow was coming down in sheets.
In the fourth quarter.
The fourth quarter. In the, thank you to the legendary Brent Musburger for this term, in the money period.
I love that too.
And you didn't take advantage of it? Let's see. I invoke you, my wife, and the late, great Red Fox. You big dummy! Maybe now all this slander against the 49ers will stop, but considering the fact that they're a road underdog yet again, I want the slander to continue, because when we go to L.A. and punch the Rams in the mouth and kick them in the gonads and wind up parking there for the next 2 weeks, maybe then the slander will stop. And speaking of slander, I got a double take for you. But for now, that's Snowman's Take, Part 1. What's yours? Let us know what you think about the Packers falling flat on their ass. Tweet the show at official SIT Mourn. And that's what Packer fans are doing this morning. They're mourning the loss of their Packers. I have a double take. The slander of Jimmy G stops now after this.
Everyone knows what kindergarten is, but have you heard of kindergarten and transitional kindergarten? Virtual learning where you use a morning meeting to do so? Well, if you look up Miss Delicia on YouTube with Morning Meeting with Miss Delicia, that is where you find it. Here children can learn about their names, what their names start with, the letters, circles, everything that we learned in kindergarten growing up, the kids can do now and can do it with Miss Delicia. Just go to youtube.com and search Miss Delicia, and when you do, and you put your child involved in this, do me a favor. Tell them Snowman sent you.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have anybody to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
Olivia from Washington. laid off and trying to keep our little kids from realizing that Mommy and Daddy haven't eaten in a while.
Roger, from California. I'm grateful we could afford our son's surgery. I'm nervous that now we can't really afford food.
Daniel, from California. Choosing whether to pay the rent or pay to fix the car to get to work doesn't leave us with much at all. Now we can't even pay for meals.
Donna, from Louisiana. The storm just hit, and we went from donating to the food bank to needing it.
Keisha, from South Carolina. I've been skipping meals so my 2 kids can eat, but filling up on water doesn't really work.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Excuse me, I know you have a 9 o'clock, so I'll keep this short. I'm the business suit in the back of your closet. You wore me nearly every day before your office went, quote, casual. I used to be the CEO of your closet. Now I'm just that one intern no one ever talks to. I always thought you'd circle back with me, get granular, keep me in the pipeline. But nada, nothing. Don't you remember the McKittrick presentation? You spilled coffee on me and I still looked amazing during the breakout talkback Q&A. So I think it's time for me to move on. I've got a great resume and I absolutely crush it in interviews, okay? Let's make this a clean break. Shift the paradigm. The only thing I ask is that you think outside the box here and do this. Take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create new jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff.
Are you kidding me? Did you not get the memo?
Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Can't wait. Oh, yeah.
It is rare that I have a Snowman's double take for this morning. Oh, but I do. And, partner, I think you're going to like how I title this. Because it's pretty simple. The Jimmy Garoppolo slander stops now. So he didn't have the greatest QBR Saturday night. So he didn't have the greatest completion percentage. And yeah, he threw a first half interception that cost the 49ers some points. But the team stayed with him, and he stayed with them, and did what Garoppolo did what Garoppolo does. He won a football game. He went into Lambeau Field and won. On the road, in the cold, in the snow. Yeah, he did all of that. He won. Period. As far as I'm concerned, that's what a quarterback is supposed to do. Aren't you supposed to put your team in a position to win, even if it's not your unit that's doing so? Even if it's not your particular unit that's doing most of the damage. See, Saturday night, the Niners defense and special teams carried the 49ers to a victory. But everybody wants to talk mess about one Jimmy Garoppolo because he didn't put up the sexy numbers. Let me tell you something. He doesn't have to. Jimmy Garoppolo is a leader. Jimmy Garoppolo is the man. And unlike Aaron Rodgers, Ryan Tannehill, Josh Allen, and the supposed GOAT Tom Brady, Jimmy Garoppolo was a winner this weekend.
Well, you know, a lot of people still want to throw Garoppolo off the bus. Still now.
Mm-hmm.
But what can you say? 2 playoff victories in this year.
Mm-hmm.
Coupled with the 2 years before.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like all this man does, like thank you, T-Pain and the DJ Khaled song, is win.
Mm-hmm. Do you know Jimmy? Listen, No, I don't hate to make fun of Dak Prescott, but Dak Prescott is 1-4 over a few playoff seasons. You know, in 2 of the last 3 years, Jimmy Garoppolo has 4 playoff wins and only 1 loss.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Say what you want about his thumb. Say what you want about his shoulders. Say what you want about his injury history. Since Jimmy Garoppolo has been the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers, my beloved 49ers, he's done one thing correctly: win football games. So he may not put up the sexy numbers of Steve Young with a 70% completion percentage season. So he may not put up the numbers that the legendary Joe Montana did in his run with the 49ers. Hell, he may not even have a 4,000-yard season like Steve Young and Jeff Garcia did. But you know what all 4 of these 49er quarterbacks have in common? They won ball games.
Right.
More to the point, they won playoff games. All 4 of these quarterbacks that I've mentioned, and you can throw Colin Kaepernick in there too. So all 5 of these quarterbacks that I'm going to mention, from Montana to Young to Garcia to Kaepernick to Garoppolo, all won playoff games. Hell, when you go back and look at the case of the Cowboys, Rich Eisen caught more passes than C.D. Lamb.
I can understand that. Oh, man.
So, by the way, 3,800 yards for Jimmy Garoppolo. Do you know he did that in only 15 games? He missed 2 due to injury. But to me, it seemed like he was pretty damn durable.
Yeah.
To me, it seemed like when it was time to play, he played.
Well, look, we can't let mere facts get in the way of a good story and a good narrative. And the narrative is Trey Lance is the future. He needs to be the present, and Jimmy Garoppolo needs to go. That's a narrative that's being painted.
Well, I got another one I'm going to paint. Win or lose next weekend, Jimmy Garoppolo just played himself into an extension.
Oh, I agree. I think with the victory this past Saturday, he played his way into an extension.
He played his way into an extension. And oh, by the way, one of the biggest weapons the 49ers are looking to keep, they're making a blockbuster deal for him too. His name's Deebo Samuel.
Oh, they definitely gonna extend him.
They're gonna extend Deebo Samuel. And for all you punks that think Garoppolo needs to be thrown under the bus, he's still driving the bus next weekend that'll run over the Rams. Slander Jimmy G all you want, but when you look at the film and when you look at the results, oh my God, I said a bad word. Results. Garoppolo wins a lot.
If I'm not mistaken, since he's been a 49er, he has started 45 games, I think, playoff and regular season.
Mm-hmm.
The record, I believe, is 31-14.
Yep.
So, we can gripe about how he doesn't throw for 300 yards. We can gripe about how he may make mistakes, and yeah, there's part of that where he has to clean up, no question. However,
absolutely.
He more often than not avoids the big time mistake because he had the opportunity to do it in the game against the Cowboys, had an opportunity to do it last Saturday, and he didn't. And to the contrary, he's actually found ways to do enough to win.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't that what you supposed your quarterback to do? You ask enough of him to win a game?
Yep. Garoppolo has played. You heard it here first, and Cole's heard it from me all year long. At the top of the year, I said Garoppolo's going to ball out, and then the 49ers are going to march his ass into the office and say, sign this extension. And Garoppolo's going to stay put. He is very durable. He knows the offense. He doesn't have to run. And unlike some of these other quarterbacks that remain in the playoffs, and I'm looking dead at you, Matthew Stafford, the most dependable weapon for a quarterback is a running game.
Yes, sir.
Can anybody say 2007 New York Football Giants? This team kind of reminds you of those Giants, don't they?
A lot. Reminds me a lot of them.
And oh, by the way, I saw this factoid, and I got to thank Jody for this one. The Giants of 2007 and these 49ers have two things in common. They both beat Dallas on the road in the playoffs, and they both beat Green Bay.
Put Green Bay in the road in the playoffs.
On the road in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. And they beat those two teams consecutive weeks.
Indeed,
Cowboys first, and then the Packers next.
And then the Packers. And the Giants weren't even supposed to come close to beating the Packers on the road. What has Jimmy Garoppolo done so far in the playoffs? Or let's rewind. What has Jimmy Garoppolo done since the end of the season? Beat the Rams to get the 49ers in the playoffs. Trusted his teammates. Beat the Cowboys in Dallas. Beat Green Bay in Green Bay. He's earned an extension, and I truly believe he will get it. And I also will say, if they don't give it to him, the 49ers are darn stupid.
And I don't think they are.
Nope. They're a well-run organization. They know who their leaders are. But despite the numbers of Prescott and Brady and Stafford and Rodgers and everybody else, I'll trust Jimmy Garoppolo to run my offense. I'll trust Jimmy Garoppolo to bring some playoff victories. The 49ers weren't even supposed to be in the playoffs. They were supposed to get smoked by the Rams in SoFi to close the season. Didn't happen. And Garoppolo made sure of it with an 88-yard drive in 61 seconds to tie the score. And then he brought them to the winning points with Robbie Gould's field goal. And by the way, they chewed up 7 minutes, 15 seconds in that overtime period to get those points. Who's the leader? Jimmy Garoppolo is. Period.
Well, that's going to upset a lot of folks, but so be it.
So be it. The slander of Garoppolo stops. If he hasn't proven you wrong yet, then you're too damn blind to see it. Or you're too stupid to recognize it. Jimmy's not going anywhere, nor should he. I'll say that again for those of you in the cheap seats in the back of the church. Jimmy Garoppolo is not going anywhere, nor should he. That's Snowman's double take. What's yours?
Pretty good, brother. Pretty good.
Thank you. I'm just tired of the slander with Garoppolo when he wins football games. I'm tired. I'm absolutely bleeping tired of it.
Yeah, because contrary to popular opinion, the quarterback does not have to be the sole force of winning a game. He's one of, not the one, but he's one of.
And that's what pisses me off about the quarterback position. And Jay Spivey, who I will talk to this afternoon, said it best. It's the most poorly coached position outside of very few teams. It's the most poorly coached position. You don't have to throw for 300 yards if you got a running game to back you up.
Exactly.
And that's what most of these teams are missing, a running game. You asked the best question, my friend. Cole Johnson asked a question on this show that said, quote, why are most teams allergic to running the football?
Mm-hmm. Because seemingly they are.
I don't care how many defenders the Packers put in the box Saturday night, daring Jimmy to throw the football. Nope. And by the way, Green Bay, your worst nightmare, not only seeing Jimmy beat you again in your house, but the memory of him beating you with only 8 passes.
I said that's quite smart.
Mm-hmm. But I had to talk about that slander. I had to talk about it. Because it needs to stop. It really does. He's got more victories than Dak Prescott in the playoffs.
Yeah. And he still gets slandered.
All the time. All the time. He still gets slandered. And I believe I have the one and only Will Otero on the line with me this morning. El Jefe.
What's going on, brother?
How are you, my man?
I'm doing well. Just doing some work.
Aren't we all doing some work? Tell me what got you to start Real Wise Radio.
Well, basically, excuse me. It's just that I was just tired of people complaining that we're getting censored. They keep taking down my episode because they didn't like what I said or whatever. So I decided just to give people opportunity to just let them voice their. And people want to basically, if your show is positive and is doing something for the community, then I'm all for having you on my program. But the focus is on just having positive content so we can just help grow and build people up, not just focus on all the negative stuff that's going on out there.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to give people an outlet where they can, yes, voice their opinion, but at the same time, be positive and build the community and not just focus on destroying it.
Yeah, because Cole and I have talked about it. It's more to the populace. It's more about destruction and negativity and drama, and I'm not about any of that stuff.
Yeah, man, and that's what we're trying to build here. We just want to focus on great content, just putting out some great programming, and just at the same time, people still have their opinions, they still have a voice. But as long as they go about it the right way, not fear-mongering, not showing that, thinking that one side is correct, because when it all boils down to, who really trusts any politician?
Mm-hmm. So true.
They're in it for their own cause. They're in it for their own pockets. It's like, how do you come into Congress or Senate, whatever, and you're in college debt, whatever you owe, and when you leave, you're a multimillionaire, but yet your constituents is suffering and not making, and it's a beef when they're trying to raise minimum wage.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. This is why I concentrate on 3 things I love: cartoons, sports, and family. That's it. I've always gone with the moniker Snowman's the name and sports is my game. And speaking of sports, I'm going to make you laugh, and I'm going to make Cole laugh at the same time by posing the question, will we see Kyrie Irving for a full season?
You're gonna ask the Knicks fan this question. You're gonna ask the Knicks fan this question.
Well,
honestly, listen, I don't agree with the mandate in New York City because it's your right, it's your body.
Right.
No government should tell you that you need to get vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
That's point blank. That's just how it is. This is what we love about this country: is you have the right to choose.
Yes. And
if he doesn't want to get vaccinated, I don't think any mayor should be telling you can't work in my city if you're not vaccinated. That's just not right.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that 100%. That's why I built the platform that I did, because no matter what, it's like we all have our opinions. None of us here is correct in what we believe. It's what our belief is. That's our belief. I'm not going to force that upon anyone.
Right. So right.
But for me, I'm glad he plays part-time. It helps us. My team's not doing so well right now, but hey, listen, we're going to get it turned around.
I hope so, man, because I want to see y'all I want the Bulls to see the Knicks in the playoffs. I really do.
Listen, I'm really excited with the way RJ Barrett has turned it around, man.
Yeah.
He's really stepped up his game in year 3. And I'm very excited we just need to get them correct and get everybody back. Missing D Rose really hurts us.
Yes.
He's the leader. He's the glue that's brought this team together last year. And not having him on the court, it really does hurt a lot. And then like every other team, you have the COVID protocol, players missing because of COVID, and
yep.
I'm excited for the future because we got some really good ballers, man. I love Miles McBride, Deuce McBride. He's awesome, and Grimes is. People forget Grimes is one of the best college, one of the best high school players coming out in his class, and I guess he didn't do what they expected in Kansas, and he went to Houston and did what he had to do.
Yeah. And one of the players on the Knicks that I've loved watching since he came into the league was Obi Toppin from Dayton.
You know what? Obi's got some real good time. He's going to be a beast if Tibbs gets off that just relying on your veterans for all some give some of these young guys. He's been giving Toppin some more time, but he really needs to really step up his minutes and give Julius a break sometimes. You need to stop riding your horse. I think he puts that on Julius. He puts all that weight on Julius that's unnecessary.
I agree with that. I mean, that's what happened in Chicago when he rode Derrick Rose and those guys, especially 2011, all the way to the East Finals, and they couldn't get a break against Miami because they were tired. They were gassed. They were absolutely gassed.
But he's got a squad now. Leon Rose, Worldwide West, everybody. They've bought them some new talent. They've bought them some horses.
Yeah, and he's got to let them run, but he also has to rest them. He has to rest them to, have enough energy to get to and through the playoffs. And that's what frightens me about the Knicks. They're just going to be so gassed at the end of the season, but that by the time the playoffs get here, they're not going to have any energy to get through it.
Yeah, but what's been really big also is having Mitch Robinson in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
He's a game changer. He's a monster, man. And if he can stay on the court, to me, he is one of the top 5 big men in the league.
Will Otero joining us here on the program, the creator of Real Wise Radio and of one of my favorite podcasts that I am a faithful listener to, which is the Stuck in My Mind podcast. How'd you create that? Where'd you get the title?
Bro, I was stuck in my head for so long, man. I didn't. it only all stuck in our heads. Like for me, I was gonna name it stuck in my head. It's like, nah, mine is better.
Yeah.
And it just it's stuck, man. It's just something I've been stuck up in there for a long time, man. So to be finally able to speak and at first I was like making excuses of why I didn't want to record or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And once I pressed record, it was over, man.
I totally get that. Someone dared me to create this show and to pick a time where I think I could conquer. I started in the afternoons, but then when I got to the morning, as you said, I pushed the button to go on air and pushed the button to record, and off to the races we went. It was over.
Well, my ultimate goal, honestly, really is I want something from. I want to actually be leading into your show. I love my afternoon show, but I really want to do the AM talk, and
yeah.
So I want my ultimate goal is to be able to retire from where I'm at, focus on building the station and building the business, and the thing is, I built the station. I don't ask anybody for any money for nothing. I'm just trying to build something where once we do start generating some revenue, everybody that's on the ground level with us can eat. That's my goal. All of us need to eat. It's not just one person.
Yeah, and
you can't expect to go to the top without any support.
Exactly. That's why I brought Cole aboard as my co-host. That's why you and I hooked up, and I'm glad to be on your station each and every morning at 8 a.m. But whether I'm leading into your show or you leading into mine, it's a partnership and a friendship that I absolutely love. And I love the fact that you are on my program this morning. That's Will Otero, the man known as Wise, the man in charge of Real Wise Radio. Check it out and check out the Stuck in My Mind podcast. I guarantee y'all will be as hooked as I am for that podcast. Thank you for coming on, my friend. I truly appreciate it. I love you. Let's build this thing.
Oh man, listen, bro, I love being on the show. Actually, I need to be a co-host one day, man. I want to talk sports, man. It's like I want to come sit down and talk sports.
You're on.
You already know. I definitely got to come on and just talk sports, brother. That's
you got it. You got it. You got it.
I want to be able to talk to Cole and talk to you and just come on and just talk to sports, man.
We will make this happen. It'll take a little time, but we will make this happen. I love you, bro. Thanks for coming on.
I love you too, man. Always. Later.
I wouldn't mind having a third person on here. And it wouldn't be a debate style show either. We would just be talking sports, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That'd be cool.
That would be. We'll find a way to make that happen. That's Will Otero joining us here on the program. We got a couple more things to do, and I'll just say this. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, thank you for bowing out. Back after this.
Everyone knows what kindergarten is, but have you heard and transitional kindergarten, virtual learning, where you use a morning meeting to do so? Well, if you look up Miss Delisha on YouTube with Morning Meeting with Miss Delisha, that is where you find it. Here, children can learn about their names, what their names start with, the letters, circles, everything that we learned in kindergarten growing up. The kids can do now and can do it with Miss Delisha. Just go to youtube.com and search Miss Delisha, and when you do, and you put your child involved in this, do me a favor. Tell them Snowman sent you.
What is dedication?
I am the father of a 9-year-old little girl and a 6-year-old little boy, and I find fatherhood both relentlessly challenging and relentlessly rewarding. My daughter is biological and my son is adopted. I love them both so much, from the morning when you wake up to putting them to bed at night, and every moment in between. It really is so special, and boy, is it exhausting. One thing that I fear about being a parent is the future for my children. I think a parent's job is to protect our children, but also prepare them for the world so they become good, kind human beings. But I'm also hopeful that the future holds a more inclusive and compassionate world for them.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and
sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner?
Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had
to choose between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hungered in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
The COVID-19 vaccines are starting to become available across the country. And as they become available, you may be asking yourself, should I get it? Will it help me get back to doing the things I love? Like going out to my favorite restaurants, meeting with friends in person, or going on vacation and traveling again? And can I do it all without putting my family and those I love at risk? And is it safe? You've got questions. That's normal, which is why it's so important to get informed. The medical community has made it clear. The vaccines authorized for COVID-19 have met the highest safety standards and can help protect us. Visit getvaccineanswers.org for all the latest information on the COVID-19 vaccines. That's getvaccineanswers.org. Getting back to the moments we miss starts with getting informed. It's up to you. A message brought to you by the Ad Council and the CDC.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff.
Holy on smoke! Are you kidding me?
Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Can't wait. Oh, yeah.
I think the Packers were saying, holy on smoke, Saturday night.
Probably.
Why am I saying that? Because they didn't expect the special teams to mess up the way that they did. Oops. I mean, we said all year. We said all year that special teams were going to be a problem. Meant the Packers don't trust their running game. Sir, remind me what happened Saturday.
The Packers took a big OL thanks to that lack of a running game for the Packers.
And the same holds true for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. First 2 plays, Leonard Fournette gets first downs on the ground. And then they went away from it. Want to explain what's wrong with that picture, sir? And the same holds true with the Rams. I'll get to the Rams in a minute, but when you get 2 first downs on your first 2 plays of the game, and then all of a sudden you abandon the running game, and it took
ridiculous.
And it took a miracle for them to get even. Well, the Rams coughed up the football 4 times.
Almost 5.
Almost 5, yep. Because Stafford nearly coughed it up. That is why I feel in my heart that the 49ers are going to march into SoFi and march all over them. I'm giving away a pick very, very early, but I don't care. After what I saw Saturday and Sunday, what did I say Friday? I don't trust the Buccaneers. I sure as hell don't trust the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Did the Rams give you any kind of reason to trust them?
It's
That long pause told me everything I needed to know. Did they give you any reason in the world to trust them? No? Me neither.
If the Rams come with that whack game plan they did Sunday, no. They come with the game plan they did 2 Mondays ago, yes. They stand a chance. See it, bro. See it, Pastor. But I don't see them doing that.
I don't either. Matthew Stafford threw for over 300 yards, and yet he needed 2 long passes to Cooper Kupp to just get them in a position to win the game.
In the last possession.
Final possession. The final possession in Kansas City was better than the final possession in Tampa.
This is what overly sucks. The Rams put forth the game plan that could beat the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's exactly what you have to do. You have to match force with force. Because that's the only way, to me, you'll be able to counteract what the 49ers can do best. However, the 49ers love to be finesse. They love to be finesse. They proved it yesterday. They'd rather have Stafford throw for almost 400 yards than to run it 38 times for 170 yards, which is what they did the week before. You have to test that 49ers D out, and you have to punch them in the mouth too. And if you don't, then that basically means that you're having your punk guard taken, and you aren't man enough. And the 49ers are proven just because they are sitting on the field that you're not man enough to come and step up and take what you believe is yours.
You want to know the most compelling stat from Saturday in Green Bay? The 49ers outran Green Bay 106-67.
Yes.
106-67.
And I dare say probably a quarter of the 67 yards I think was on the first possession.
Yeah.
So
it was on the first possession of the game.
So we're talking 50 yards the rest of the way.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot. So you have a team in the 49ers where defensively they will rarely blitz you.
Mm-hmm.
Because they believe they can get you with the 4 up front that they have, which is, like you said, reminiscent of the 2007 Giants squad.
Yep.
Because that's how they believe.
Yep.
They believe we can get enough pressure with the 4 linemen.
We can get our first 4. We can get our front 4 in your backfield before you can blink.
Yeah. Because we're going to drop 7, and we're going to make it even difficult for you to throw it, and that's going to give the 4 down linemen time to get to the quarterback.
Right.
That is what the 49ers believe. If you're going to stop a pass rush, what's the best way to do it? Run at them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way to do it. Run at them, and you don't have. And it doesn't have to be every time you run you get 10 yards a pop or even 5 yards a pop. If it's 1 or 2, if you do it enough, you're going to wear them down. And also what you're going to do is you're going to make a defender think.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things you do. And this is coming from an offensive lineman. The one thing you do not want a defender to do is think. You want a defender to react.
Yes.
And if you get a defender
that's exactly why the Packers couldn't think.
Right.
Saturday night.
Right. Yeah. You want to get a defender to think, because if he thinks, that means what he naturally does gets tainted just a little. It may not be a lot. They may still succeed on that play, but you give that momentary hesitation. And what frustrates me about the Rams is they have the ability to do that to the 49ers, but the boy wonder doesn't want to do it.
Listen to these stats. Cam Akers carried the ball 24 times for 48 yards. if he gets 24 carries against San Francisco, he'll have less than 48 yards because that run defense is something else.
It is.
Then
it is.
Von Jefferson had 1 carry. Matt Stafford had 4, and Sony Michel only had 1. 30 carries, 73 yards.
But you know what? I'd be fine with that. Because to me, when it comes to the playoffs, it's not necessarily about the yards you gain. It's about the fact that you want to dictate tempo up front. And like I said, sometimes you're going to have 73 yards and with the 30 carries. Sometimes you might have 120. But you have that mindset of we're going to be physical. Now, the problem I have with the Rams, though,
they went away from it.
They want to throw first. They want to throw often, and you just said it. When they start with the run, or when they actually start thinking about doing the run and utilizing the run, they use it, and then they go away from it for long stretches, and they come back to it, and then they go away from it for a long stretch, and they come back to it. Now, they wouldn't have had that much running if they didn't have a big lead. Otherwise,
right. And then Tampa Bay carried the ball 14 times for only 51 yards.
That's ridiculous.
The first two, and they made Tom Brady throw the ball 54 times.
That's ridiculous.
Final question of the day. Is this it for Brady?
No.
No?
It should be, because he has nothing else to prove. He has nothing else to prove, nothing left to prove. But
he wants to prove something.
I think now he wants to prove something. And if I would say this, if he were to have won the Super Bowl this year, I'd probably say, you know what? He'd probably lean toward retirement now.
Then he rides off into the sunset.
He would ride into the sunset. But because that's what I believe he wants to do. I think he wants to have a season where he knows he has the team, he has the ability still, but there's something away from football that he wants to do more than being on the field. And that if he has that right team that puts him in the right position to win that championship, he'll do like John Elway. He'll be like, okay, this is it. I did it with a 300-yard game and a Super Bowl MVP. I left the game on top.
Yeah.
I believe that's what Tom Brady wants to do. Because he did not do it, I think he'll be back next year.
But he won the Super Bowl last year. But he didn't do it with a 300-yard game.
No.
He didn't do it his way. He didn't.
Right.
If he'd have won Super Bowl 52 with a 500-yard game, do you think he would have walked away?
Maybe, but you know,
I don't know. I don't know if he would have.
I don't think he would.
Yeah. He's
I
just
don't think
that.
he would. Yeah.
This is where I put Tom Brady and you know who in the same sentence, and I don't even have to complete. You see, I didn't even have to complete the sentence for you to know what I'm talking about. I didn't even have to complete the sentence.
But both of them will claim what Michael Jordan would love to say about why he would play. You know, they play for the love of the game.